intro today. Jew in trouble. Nux Taku is 100% cooked. I was told I needed to react to this video, mostly because everyone else reacted to this video. Alright, Tectone, smugalana, squchan, on VTubers I've never heard of. Everyone on the planet decided, yo, let's get together. Let's react to this video. Royalty is here, made his third video on me. Mr. President, the third Royalty here video is Hit the Towers. Yeah, and the most hated VTubers. So let's go. This is the definitive Nuxanor hit piece. Let's go, boys and girl. I'm going to try not to give you too much context for most of the things because, to be honest, obviously, your boy gets canceled all the time. All right. Mostly, I think people hate me because I actually started being based and making waves in the political sphere and talking about how Hassan Piker is at different percentages. So turns out, let's see what we got. All the ammo. We are covering the definitive Nuxanor hit piece. All right. Infinite content, zero narcissism, responding to the drum. All right, let's go.
So I've become somewhat of a scholar in VTubers as of recently. Don't worry, it was
By the way, I have no bias pro or against royalties here going into this. I don't care that people make videos on me, even if they're negative.
Completely involuntary. I wouldn't condone the knowledge I've absorbed being put on anyone else.
Oh, God.
Since their first
VTubers!
conception...
Oh! Oh! According to Hassan, if you're a VTuber, you're probably a pedophile.
In 2016, and later popularity in
Good
2019 to 2020.
True. Largely because of me. That's right. I was one of the... I platformed every early English-speaking VTuber on my platform with over 1 million subscribers, actually.
Which has carried it all the way to the present day, where like endless mitosis, they've reproduced to the point where they are everywhere.
There's billions of them. Who's that guy hiding behind there? Why'd they put me in the chair of this freaking photo? Come on now.
There's a VTuber for every animal almost. I'm still waiting on a water bear VTuber though, or one that is...
Dude, I've had so many controversies. People cancel me for anything because I'm based. That's right, I am based. I'll say regular, normal things that everyone could agree with, like... We should not be putting biological men in women's sports, right? That's a pretty reasonable take. And guess what? Bammo! Infinite drama, endless content.
Inspired by a slot machine that
And I'm pretty sure this video was made before the Hassan stuff.
Has a gambling addiction. I feel like I'd resonate with them very well. But due to its popularity, there are a range of VTubing personalities.
They're true.
Some more reserved and safe for work, some at the other side of the spectrum, and then some you'd think were on a different type of spectrum.
Yeah.
Whatever the
I love Chibi-Doki.
this is.
I'm hungry.
She's awesome.
Treat. I'll do a backflip.
Yes!
For treats.
She's the best
backflip for
VTuber.
treats.
This is the best VTuber. Oh yeah.
They make.
But yeah, they titled this the most hated VTuber. They didn't put Cinder on here. Come on now, bro. There are actual pedophile VTubers. Right, there were VTubers that were exposed to be like rapist, pedophile, fucking murderers, stalkers. And I am the most hated. Why? Because I'm based. That's why. I might be the most hated, but I'm also the most loved.
Content they stream. Some have their
I'm transphobic, according to Twitter. So, you know it's bad.
own lore better than any of the latest Marvel movies.
Oh yeah, that was epic foreshadowing.
They have their own meet and greets at events.
Yeah.
They even have their own concerts which sell a lot of tickets.
They even have stalkers. They even have people trying to kill them. They have people advocating for their murder on twitch.tv / Hassan Piker.
Internet is infatuated with VTubers, and VTubing is accessible to anyone. If you can fork out the money for a VTubing model with multiple toggles and features, like a tit slider and
if you could spend 10k on a VTuber model, you fucking made it.
jiggle physics, which is essentially like jingling keys for the absolute gooners of the VTuber audience.
True, but it works. It works. Don't hate the players, hate the game.
However, VTubing has become slightly oversaturated over
Alright, this was too much time not talking about me.
the years, and it is hard to differentiate yourself from the sheer amount of VTubers that there is. But apart from that, VTubing comes with a lot of benefits over their fleshy counterparts, like being able to say the most...
Like being able to not get doxxed and harassed and beat up in real life when you criticize Hassan Piker on twitch.tv / Hassanabi, the guy that advocates daily for hurting Jews. It turns out it's pretty advantageous to not need to do any of that shit.
most abhorrent and viscous statements with complete anonymity.
Where's your
It's so funny because I feel like the biggest controversy that I've been, I know this video came out a month ago, but since then I've been in so much controversy. never-ending train. If you didn't subscribe, you're missing out.
Art degree, but
We have to do these yearly videos where I react to the most updated hit piece on me. What do you think, guys?
where's your fucking art degree? Oh, you have one? Okay, Hitler.
Probably due to the sheer popularity and benefits of being a VTuber, you can now find many other content creators adopting their own VTuber.
See, you could see this individual over here. You could tell from this VTuber model that the physics on this VTuber model's spine is obviously not accurate because Ludwig has no spine!
Personality. But with the vast amount of people partaking
Sorry, I didn't mean to call out Ludwig there. This is a Nux hate video. All
in
right.
such format,
No stray bullets here! Everyone's friendly!
with a variety of personalities and opinions, it's only natural that some VTubers would be favored over others. and some just
He is cushioning this as much as he can.
outright hated. This
Oh,
brings me
come
to the
on.
topic of today's
No.
video. One of the most hated VTubers that recently can't seem to catch a break.
That's me. Can't catch a break. Since, you have to realize, since this video came out a month ago, I've been in so much controversy. There are people advocating for my murder. My murder! On twitch.tv/HassanAbi.
Someone that had the complete
Oh,
opposite
no.
reputation on
Hey, I have a fantastic reputation by like half the people. The other half the people don't like me so much, but hey, that's politics.
a few years ago, and someone I've spoken about before but never really in depth, Nuxanor.
Never really in depth. Bro made 3 videos on me. What do you mean never in depth?
Who, yes,
Oh.
seen as Gunpei, has recently removed herself from the internet due to people finding out that she wasn't in fact single and dating all her audience,
Yeah, I have no idea who this is.
which was a new level of parasocial degeneracy.
That's pretty bad.
She even invited them to send dick pics as part of the girlfriend experience, but she's gone now, and probably has a solid terabyte of uncut penis on her hard drive, and that one other VTuber really
Alright.
doesn't count in this category.
Dude, so let me get this straight. He said that there's this VTuber that's like dating her whole audience and scamming people and a degenerate freak. Why am I even remotely considered the most hated VTuber? Like, let's be real here for a second. I didn't really do anything.
Because most people still don't know they exist, which is partially a good thing, so the title now falls on Nux.
Oh! That's fucked up, bro.
As in recent years, he's been regarded to be one of the
Oh my god. All right, so I don't know if he's actually going to address this, but by the way, Taku, for real, one of the worst YouTubers ever. So, for the record, all right, because I have to, of course, give context to things. Why is Nux hated? Yeah, I guess we have a 40-minute video to explain why. So, this is a video I made on April Fool's Day, like 5 years ago, where I said I donated $10,000 to streamers to say the N-word. The N-word was actually nipple. I would go onto streams, mostly of my black friends, and I would say, I'll pay you $10,000 to say the N-word, nipple. But I didn't tell them nipple, and then they would say the actual N-word, and I was like, I was talking about nipple. That was the whole video. It was like a nothing burger video. This tweet is not related to this video, but they posted them side by side. They got me mega canceled for being racist. Little did they know, I actually became incredibly racist as time went on. So, unfortunately, all your bullets are bouncing off.
the most hated VTubers, and still to this day gets shit like a public outhouse more than
me.
any other VTuber.
Dude, I'm trending like weekly on Twitter from a random guy that pulled up an old clip of mine to cancel me for.
But who is Nuxanor? How did he become so hated, and does he deserve it?
All right! He's incredibly famous on the internet. Oh, true. So
he's right.
people decide to try to cancel me on Twitter for some. I'm literally accurate reason because they're jealous of my incredible Nuxtradamus success. True.
So for one of the most hated VTubers,
Bro.
you probably expected this man to have
Bro, if I'm one of the most hated VTubers. Wait.
spawned straight from the spread cheeks of Nurgle.
True.
With malice
But that's Asmongold.
and hate as his prerogative.
True.
Which isn't that far from the truth.
Bro!
Nux originally
Come on,
started
man.
posting on the
Why would you
internet in
say this?
2015 with
Yeah.
anime-based videos, which I cannot relate to in any way. Anybody that has ever made such
True.
content should be lined up and shot with hollow point 7.62
Yes,
rounds, but I
yes.
digress. Nux had
Right.
made his start on the internet making primarily anime-targeted content,
True.
which people actually loved. A major critique against Nux from previous fans seems to be that they enjoyed it when he just made anime-themed
True.
content rather than the content he would later shift to.
True. But I would make the argument that my content has never changed. Ever. And everyone else doesn't realize that. People don't realize that my content has always been talking about the exact thing that I want to talk about at any given point in time. It used to be anime content, for sure. And then I realized the cesspool of the internet, and then I realized the cesspool of life, and yeah. Now we're talking about retards on the internet.
But we'll talk.
I also get hate for saying the word retard.
about that later.
Alright.
But in the current time frame, the gravy train was not ending for Nux. He collaborated with many content creators doing the same niche he was, that at the time held a lot of influence
Still love Lost Pause.
on the platform. And he even eventually reached over 1 million subscribers by 2019, just by once again doing anime content. And conveniently around the same time, by his own words, somehow got cancelled for the first time.
Yeah, it happens.
In the year of 2020, which was one of the first of many to come. And honestly, to Nux's credit, he has withstood a lot of them. You cannot take it away from him. Dude has tanked controversies even though sometimes it's down to his own actions. But his first cancellation, in his own words, was due to comments he made towards animes and anime characters. Yeah, we must have been very bored in 2020.
Yeah, it used to be about canceling people for making fun of anime. Now we cancel people for being pedophiles and terrorists.
And one of the comments that put him under scrutiny was when he referred to male anime characters that presented themselves as feminine under the title of traps.
I cannot believe they actually canceled me for this. Like, I'm thinking back, it's shocking that they actually canceled me for this.
Which I discovered
the libtard era of the internet was truly incredible.
Recently has become a slur. Thank you for the 2020 slur patch.
Bro, miss me with these freaking slurs. You can't invent slurs every 2 seconds. Okay, stop making up new slurs.
That's 5 years later. And to be honest, I haven't heard anyone use the word trap in a while. The second thing he was accused of was being racist, because he pronounced Full Metal Alchemist like this.
I stand by it 100%.
And the third thing was that he was sexist for talking about anime female characters in a negative way. But sorry to say, Sakura is a fucking useless character.
True. You see, I've evolved. Now I don't just make fun of anime traps. Now I make fun of transgender people that go all the way to the extreme that want to cut the balls off children. I don't only make fun of women in shonen anime that are particularly useless. I also make fun of women in real life that are kind of shitty women. See, I don't only make fun of things by pronouncing words like Furumetura Arukimistu Brazohudo. I talk about the situation in Japan where the suicide rate is incredibly high because they're overworking themselves to death. You see, I have evolved. I am literally so much more based now than I ever was before.
Say it, she would have been more useful as a shuriken shield than anything else in the story.
I mean, she was. She was.
But out of all the controversies that Nux would later have, this one was by far the least impactful on his online reputation. But Nux's response to these allegations and critiques gives you a good example on Nux's online persona, which has persisted even to this present day. He kind of just told them to go f*** themselves, and
I stand by that. I was ahead of the game. That is always what you should do when they cancel you for bullshit.
Clammed on the people hating on him.
I agree.
And clarified he wasn't in the wrong because the majority of the time he was just talking about anime characters.
I don't think I did anything that warrants an apology, and therefore I, Lord D. Nuxanor, will not be apologizing.
Damn, I was so based. I was the primordial based. Content hasn't changed. It ascended.
This is the persona a lot of people revered him for. He was
still do, by the way. Okay, I want to make this clear. I know we're still sort of in the beginning of the video. I want to make this clear. He's talking about how Nux fell off and something. I don't want to bring up the stats. Nux did not fall off. I am currently the most relevant I have ever been on the internet. Again, I'm not saying this to flex. I'm saying this to correct the record. In the last 28 days on YouTube, I've gotten like 10 million views. You have to realize, I am literally at the zenith of my popularity. Thanks God. I am at the zenith of my popularity, and I'm at the peak of how much money I make through YouTube. Literally. And how much I'm talked about on the internet. I did not fall off at all. I have fallen on. Okay, I want to make this clear. Everyone says, didn't happen. To be making content for 10 years and still be at the peak of my career is crazy.
Someone that had relatively no filter and was certainly unapologetic for it. He was loud, energetic, satirical, and in his own words, he just loved the chaos and just flexing on the haters.
True, yes!
Also a term I haven't heard for a while. People loved this about him. It was somewhat of a breath of fresh air.
People still love. Why is this past it? People love this about me.
That time, which to many's horror, someone with the same characteristics and significantly less apologetic.
See, people realized how to cancel me because since the internet backlash never affected me, people used to target my friends. So one thing that I didn't anticipate back in the day, I'll give you an insight on the mind of Nuxanor. At the very beginning, when I got canceled for like being transphobic for saying the word trap or whatever, or being misogynistic for saying Sakura is a useless Naruto character, stupid shit, and I'd stand up for myself and say that I don't care and I'm gonna not be apologetic with whatever the fuck I want to say. Important to note, people realized that and they started attacking my friends. They started attacking my friends and basically harassing them until they came out with public statements against me and stabbed me in the back. That's kind of the new strat that a lot of people went with. And it's pretty shitty, for sure. And that's why I've taken the essential mantra that if you don't want to get canceled, I don't mind if you don't associate with me. I don't mind if you don't want to associate with me. I don't need anyone to associate with me. That's really kind of why I went my own path. I make sure that everyone knows what they get into. People have invited me to collab, and I say, I'm just letting you know. And I link them videos canceling me, and I say, they might come for you. If you're cool with that, I'll collab with you. Just letting you know in advance. Absolutely, and I stand by that.
It's about to become popular around the same time.
Oh. Bro, you cannot compare me to low tier god, all right? This dude, how do you compare me to this guy?
But all of what
Didn't he get into like, okay, I don't want to say anything wrong here. So I'm not going to say anything. But I'm pretty sure low tier god got into like actual physical IRL drama, not just a said mean thing on the internet. What did low tier god get in trouble for? All right, let's see. I'm pretty sure it was like some controversial statements. All right, sure. View botting, offensive remarks. Sure. Saying that he would never date black women, doxing allegations, grooming allegations. All right, you see, that's what I mean. How can you possibly compare me to this guy? How could you possibly compare me to low tier god? Right? Get out of here.
I've just mentioned was before he even became a VTuber. He actually only debuted as a VTuber in 2021, which mentioned before was around the boom of VTubing. Before his debut, he was like a 2D VTuber of sorts, using his character that looked like a black tar heron version of Sans from Undertale. But he was never considered a VTuber till that day of early 2021. And compared to other VTubing models, it...
Bro, why would you put me and Cinder back to back? That's just wrong, bro.
...did get its...
I get backstabbed by friends. She backstabbed her friends. We are not the same.
...fair share of criticism. It didn't track very well. Sometimes his lips didn't collaborate very well with what he was saying.
Why the fuck is he making fun of my face? All right, come on, man.
People once again thought he...
Wait, so since he already got to the VTuber era, that means he's skipping the whole interspecies reviewers drama. That was a massive controversy that I got into, and I'm surprised Dima didn't mention that.
It was just a Sans Undertale clone.
And also, there were allegations that I stole my model art. That's another controversy that I got into, which is also not true. Yeah, it's just anime version of Sans with like mixed with Gintama. All right, but he's missed a couple, but I don't expect him to go through every single fucking controversy in my career.
Very well with what he was saying. People once again thought he was just a Sans Undertale clone.
True.
Where were the big boobas and tit sliders? Disgraceful.
True.
But many of his fans actually loved it. It collaborated very well with his online person.
Still do. Love it. Present tense. People love me, man. Because of you, there's a whole term on... Yeah, if you look up vote brigading on Wikipedia, they list me as an example.
And content. But after this, he did start to stray away from his anime-themed content, with VTuber-related videos and general trends at the time.
So there were a few reasons to this. One is because I liked it more. Two is because I thought that it was more fun. And three... I was getting butt-fucked by copyright. I was making anime videos that were getting hundreds of thousands of views, and they were constantly getting taken down with copyright strikes. In fact, I just got an old video taken down for a copyright strike this week, like an ancient video from 5 years ago. So I found making anime content not super tenable on YouTube, to be honest. That's just a me thing.
Like, I gave X amount to a starving Serbian child, and he even threw a few
True.
songs in there as well. But with his new
True.
type of content, he started to receive a lot more attention. Even with the
Yeah, I'm incredibly famous.
disagreement from his older fans, he managed to reach 2 million subscribers. And even collaborate.
But again, I've been always upfront. I make content that I like to make. That is always the content that I've made.
The top echelons
I've
of
never
YouTube,
changed on that.
like Some Ordinary Gamers, Moist Critical, Umperville, and Lost Pause, who I feel like I haven't
Love all those guys, by the way.
seen in a while. And obviously other
Right,
VTubers
he's still doing his thing.
like Bao and Iron Mouse.
VShojo drama is going to be mentioned in a minute.
Even started a podcast in 2021 with Umpabil and Mutaha.
So I actually started this podcast after the VShojo drama, so he has the timeline a little wrong here.
Just talking about things that happened on the internet. And even though his older fans criticised him, his content had changed drastically, and he wasn't everybody's cup of tea. All of this was outweighed by the support and positivity for him. However, due to a number of controversies regarding his own actions, the tide of positivity quickly turned against him. And in the current day, he doesn't collaborate with many YouTubers like he used to. His content is mainly of...
To be clear, the main reason why I don't collab with as many YouTubers as I used to is totally due to my decision. I get invited to collabs a lot. I just collabed with Fillion and her people. I collab with Tectone a lot. Again, I don't reach out for collabs anymore. That changed. That is kind of what changed. I don't really reach out to people to collab because I don't like seeing other people get canceled because of me. And that's one major difference. The other major difference, my content has kind of evolved into a lot more of a personal commentary kind of thing.
Evolved into just slop reaction content.
Hey, this is the peak of slop reaction content. I have mastered the formula.
Oops, sorry, wrong channel. And on his second channel, he's dived into politics, which has also landed him in hot water.
True! Modern day cancellations.
And many of the people that were once close to him have seemingly distanced themselves from him.
I'm still very close friends with Mutahar.
Many address him,
by the way,
now with either infamous...
I get so many of these comments. Canucks get exposed already. I didn't do anything, man.
Or just outright hate, which is very polarizing when compared to his previous years on the platform.
Okay, I don't think this is true. I just think it's because I got more famous and more talked about, so more people are going to come out and hate me, especially if I'm making content thinking that Trump is a good president, all right? Trump is a pretty polarizing guy. I don't know if you got the news, but if you compliment anything Trump does, you get hate on the internet. So, yeah, this, again, I'm not sure what this statement is.
But what are these controversies, and does he deserve a reputation that is essentially on the same level as a urinal cake marinated in piss?
Fair. I love this guy. I love this guy, man. The point that I'm trying to make here is, for some reason, I became the goddamn enemy numero uno. True.
Now, probably
Blue Voldemort, they call me these days.
One of the first major and most confusing controversies Nux faced.
This was my worst controversy. Absolutely. To this day, this was still my worst controversy.
Was in 2021 with VShojo. Conveniently not long after he debuted, VShojo is a VTubing agency with many of the juggernauts of the VTubing scene under their belt.
True.
Like Iron Mouse, Project Melody, Zentreya, Fruit, and many more being added to this day. However, even before the events occurred, Nux and the talent of VShojo were on good terms. They created
more than good terms, bro. I platformed them when they just started out, all of them. That's the craziest part. I platformed all the VShojo people. Well, not all, but a lot of them. Melody, Iron Mouse, for sure, absolutely.
Created content together, interacted in the cesspool that is Twitter.
Ooh.
And just all around seemed to have a good relationship. However, in 2021, somebody was targeting VShojo. And
well, sort of. They were targeting other people, not directly VShojo.
Pretending to be VShojo in order to gather VTubers' personal information to harass, dox, and even swat them.
True.
Some of the emails appeared like they were coming from VShojo recruitment, and one specifically was sent to an indie VTuber, where they essentially thought their dreams were coming true, and they were asked to join VShojo, but first they would have to put all their information in which the police then...
So, again, for extra context, they didn't just make believe they were VShojo and ask for your information. They gave you fake contracts, the Doxer team. They made fake contracts that they would get you to sign. All right? So, when you sign a contract, because you thought you were joining VShojo and your life is changing, you are putting in your information.
Showed up to their house because they had just been swatted. Nux had received the same email, but he knew it wasn't VShojo. He got in contact with the VShojo management team and...
But again, the only reason why I knew it wasn't VShojo was because I directly messaged the CEO of VShojo and was like, hey, what's going on? And he's like, yeah, we know about this. There's a guy that's using our name that's doxing people.
Cybersecurity team to tell them what was happening and that potentially more VTubers are going to fall victim to this. But
yeah, this is my message. Yeah, for sure.
Shoujo was already aware this was happening and were doing their own investigation. Nux.
All right, so I'll be clear here. At this point, from my perspective, I'm just gonna try to explain a little more context from my perspective. At this point, I was aware that VShojo knew about this guy using their name, messaging people to try to get their information to dox and swat them. Why the fuck, at this point, did VShojo not make this public? Why didn't VShojo just say, yo, people are using our name, they're going around, they're emailing people, they're trying their best to get their info to swat them. Don't fall for it if they come from the wrong domain, all right? If they come from vshojo.org, they're not real. If they come from vshojo.com, it is real. Just letting you know in advance. But they didn't do that. They didn't want to make an announcement because they didn't want the PR move. Just making this clear. I still think that they put people in danger by doing this. Again, this is water under the bridge. It's ancient history drama. Don't bring this up. It doesn't matter. I'm just letting you know.
Began his own investigation by providing the wrong information to the email so they would contact him.
True.
And at one point they even flexed they had his information in a Discord server for some reason.
True.
Which was provided to Nux by one of his apparent fans.
True.
There's sources of info that I got, which are kind of hilarious. This dude was flexing that he got my real name and phone number, which he didn't, and he was posting it in his Discord servers, and one of the people in the Discord server that he was posting it was a fan of mine.
Nux was working on a full video covering this topic and spreading awareness about it. The VShojo's cybersecurity team and management knew about this video being made.
Yeah, so they approved the video basically before I put it out. VShojo even said at Nuxtaku, thank you Nux for working with us, right? They tweeted this out before, like as my video came out, they said thank you Nuxtaku for working with us.
And were communicating directly with Nux about the video through things like Discord, and he even showed them the video before it was released.
True!
This also involved one of the VShojo talents that was never named.
Well, at this point, she was named, but I don't need to get into that now. It was named. By the way, again, I blurred this out when I showed receipts for my innocence. Someone else accidentally revealed who it was. It was not me. I did not ever reveal who was part of this. I didn't want hate to go to anyone else. Just making this
Someone
clear.
is out there impersonating VShojo, the massive VTuber group. They tried to steal my info, dox me, and swat me, and they've successfully done this to many, many other VTubers. This is not...
Now, to Nux's credit, the video promptly spread awareness about the situation.
Yeah, the number one most important thing to do.
Potentially saving more indie VTubers
Yeah.
that would want to join VShojo.
Yeah.
And just spreading awareness about general cybersecurity etiquette.
Yeah.
Yes, if you received an email from Jackman saying you're the top 1% of jackers, and they want to deliver your own personal golden encrusted flashlight, they just need you to fill out all your personal information, they were probably lying to you. But you'd think people would rejoice at such a positive thing Nux had done.
Yes! You would think that everyone would rejoice at such a nice thing Nux has done. You would think so. In fact, people did rejoice. For a few minutes.
Yes, people did initially praise him for this video.
Including VShojo, who praised me for this video.
And VShojo also thanked him, and one of the perpetrators allegedly had their information turned over to the police, but the positive acclamations...
Yeah, no, they caught the guy. I want to make this clear. The way I devised it was, I made a tweet the moment I figured out people were doxing VTubers, and I said, hey, someone is masquerading as VShojo, be careful. That was my original tweet. I only made this video after the police was fully aware of the situation and tracked down the doxer. Only after that, because we worked with law enforcement on this, after that happened, I released this video. So, no one was put into danger, from my perspective.
For Nux quickly turned when many of the VShojo VTubers publicly
Yeah, so if you look at these tweets, you'll notice something. When multiple people tell you not to upload something and concerned for their safety, don't do it. Asking for you to take it down because I felt my safety was in trouble. And for you to go to the company, ask for numerous terms and conditions in return, that's not friendship. I'm so disappointed and hurt that you are doing this when you knew full well what was truly going on. Yeah, people were doxing people. We asked you to take it down. We told you we feared for our safety. You didn't care. Yeah, these tweets are still up, by the way, just in case you're not aware. Yeah, no. So I got an insane amount of hate for all this. Now, to be clear, again, VShojo approved my video. I was not asked to not remove the video. I think that's the major point here. VShojo didn't tell me not to upload it. In fact, they even thanked me. And I don't really think anyone's safety was in trouble at this point. Which is why I only released the video after they actually caught the guy. But anyway, you can see why people definitely started attacking me for this stuff. We feared for our safety. That's pretty insane. That was a wild situation. And by the way, to be clear here, I just want to elaborate a little bit. Asking for you to take it down because I felt my safety was in trouble, and for you to go to the company and ask for numerous terms and conditions in return, that's not friendship. Can I give you the context here? The context here, because I never actually mentioned this in public, the context here was one of the VShojo people essentially slandered me, saying that I was asked not to upload the video, which is not true. I was never asked not to upload the video. And one of the VTubers slandered me and said that I was asked not to upload the video. I did anyway, knowing that it would put them in danger. Not true. Then I was asked, hey, they're now asking to take down the video. And what the terms and conditions that I asked for, by the way, that they're saying, I said the terms and conditions that I'm asking for are retract the statement that I was asked not to upload the video and apologize to me, and I will take down the video. That is literally what I said. There were no personal details in that video.
Criticised Nux for making a video on the topic with allegations levied against him of being a clout chaser.
Yeah, so this was the original message that came out, and I said, if she deletes this message, I will take down the video, because this is slander. That is basically what I said. A perfectly reasonable thing.
And potentially putting them in danger.
Yeah, so saying numerous terms and conditions, my terms or conditions was delete your post about me and correct the record. That's all I wanted. But anyway.
With the fact that many of the VShojo team had apparently told him not to make the video.
That's a lie. That didn't happen. That's not true.
But he did so anyway, and many of them just wanted the video removed, in which it was.
So in my opinion, the reason why they wanted the video removed, this is, I have a few opinions, but one of the main reasons is VShojo looked really terrible. Like, I released a video that essentially, it was definitely to raise awareness of something going on, but VShojo looked awful. The fact that they were kind of covering up that there was someone going around using their name to dox and swat people, and they were doing nothing about it, not even raising awareness about it. So it definitely made them look pretty bad. I think that that's one of the major reasons. There's another reason that I don't want to tell you because I don't want to get other people involved in this drama, but yeah.
3 days later. Now it's important to note that within the video, none of the VShojo members were mentioned directly. The only other VTuber mentioned in the video was Saki, who was the victim that got swatted, and in fact responded positively to the video being made. So the only way this would put VShojo talent in danger would be inspiring other people to do the same. But VShojo knew about it. Even one of the members was in the Discord with the cybersecurity team and Nux.
Yep.
And once again,
And despite the fact that they were in that chat with me, they still made believe that I was told not to make the video. By the way, to this day, you have people that are like, wasn't Nux doxing people with the VShojo situation? Which is like completely untrue. Like not even grounded in reality a little bit. Yeah, I think this is the biggest turning point for when people started hating me online. This was such a big deal on Twitter. Essentially, all of the biggest VTubers at the same time came out to cancel me. And I'll be real, bro, when a dude gets canceled by 10 women on the internet at the same time, it doesn't go well for them very often. But anyway, it turns out I was justified with what I was doing, so here I am today.
They thanked him and even provided an official statement at the end of the video. But it appears the VShojo talent were not informed about this at all, hence why a lot of them were denouncing Nux's video. And to make things worse,
whatever. I don't release private information, so I don't want to release any private information. Obviously, there is more context here that actually I think makes it worse. Corpus Electi, thanks for the sub.
This VShojo management deleted their thank you to Nux, and then went with a narrative that they always told him never to make the.
Which is such a crazy move. They deleted their thank you tweet, and then they made a post saying, we never wanted him to upload the video. Like, bro, come on, bro. You really thought that would work, bro? Roaching out like that, man?
The video. and everyone proceeded to pile on Nux.
Yeah, I got
now,
crazy
if you've been
hate.
stunlocked, it's no surprise all of this is very confusing, but to break this down for you like SpaghettiOs, this is basically a tale of poor communication, where the
It's a good analysis. It's missing some Royal. Maybe let me hold on. Let me actually message Royalties here or follow him on Twitter or something, because I would give him behind the scenes details for sure. As long as he doesn't leak it. Royalty is here. So far, this is a great video, by the way. Just saying. All right, dropped him a follow. He made 3 videos on me. He's definitely gonna follow me back. But yeah, no, that's crazy. No, there are other reasons why it's not just poor communication. It's there was a reason why I was a threat, I think, in certain regards.
The VShojo members were not told beforehand about this, except for the one VShojo member that was in the group apparently. The VShojo team thought they communicated directly to Nux that they didn't want this video to be made.
Yeah, that's not true.
Only 2 instances.
Nux was a threat to VShojo? No. That's not what I said, and if that is what I said, that's not what I meant. Not the company as a whole. This was mostly on a much more individual basis. Some people were not exactly big fans of me.
One before.
Again, this is water under the bridge. I have no enemies. Just want to make this clear. I have no enemies, bro. No enemies.
Or he even started the video, and 2, when they were actively helping him with the video.
Yeah, they actively helped me with the video. They gave me information, even. I gave them info. They gave me info. They told me things to remove and change, which I did listen to. Yeah, no.
Yeah, where they didn't tell him directly to not make the video.
They told... Wait. They didn't just tell me not... They didn't tell me not to make the video. They said, all right, I am not saying this as a criticism of whether you should do a video. That is entirely your right to do. So as a victim, talking about me, the victim of the guy trying to swap people, and we don't have a problem with that. All right, that's not saying don't upload the video, bro. That's saying go for it, do what you like, you're the victim. That is what he said. This is the cybersecurity officer of VShojo.
And even thanked him for it. But when the VShojo talent had problems with it, they then withdrew their thanks. And once again reinstated their stance. They never wanted him to make this video.
Of course.
Despite once again being informed and having some part in it. They also expressed concerns about the one person he called a fan, who was the one that told him they were leaking the fake information.
That was the craziest thing in their response to me, by the way.
That they were a part of the attack and could be feeding him misinformation.
That was the craziest part. Part of my video was like a fan leaked me this Discord call, and their response was, it might not have even been a fan! Maybe it was an enemy making believe they're a fan that leaked you this Discord call. And it's like, okay, and? Why does that matter at all? So? Yeah, that was wild. I was very shocked that was like part of their debunk of me. Anyway, by the way, I didn't respond to their debunk. They ended up coming back with that statement. I never responded. The internet tore it apart. I didn't want to continue the drama because, again, it ended up getting friends of mine involved, which is the shittiest thing for sure.
That is the bare bones of what happened, and Nux was facing a mountain of backlash for it, even though his heart was in the right place and he did inform the group. I just wanted to bring light to this situation to prevent any further victims. He kind of just got thrown under the bus due to an apparent miscommunication.
Apparent.
With him and the cybersecurity and management team of VShojo. But when the dust settled, Nux just wanted to move on.
All right, let me give you a little behind the scenes. All right, just a little tease. A lot of friends of mine got messaged by people saying that if you ever associate with Nux again, we will blacklist you from the VTuber community. And that's why I essentially said, let's just move on and drop it, and I didn't make any major responses to anything. That was the major reason why I didn't fight back. Just to be clear. I made one response video clearing my name. The internet got my back because they basically saw I was correct. And essentially, I didn't... and that's kind of why I didn't keep going. Because that was really shitty. By the way. Bit of info for you. I got receipts of that. I was thinking of making a big video. I decided not to because I didn't want anyone else to get involved in anything. But this is years ago. And again, even the person that directly messaged my friends telling them, if you collab with Nux, I'm never going to associate with you again. Even those people, I don't hate them. It's water under the bridge. It was a long time ago. It was years. Don't care anymore. Just trying to give you some more context as to why I never actually made any major videos there. Because that happened and it was incredibly shitty.
and all parties apologized, including the VShoujo VTubers. But
maybe not all parties apologized. All right, let's be clear here. It wasn't all parties that apologized. One person gave a very genuine public apology, Zentreya. It was fucking very cool of her. A bunch of people apologized privately in calls and were genuine, and I forgive them. Absolutely. 2 people did not apologize privately or publicly. And let's be clear, not everyone did.
But for his first major controversy, he received a lot of backlash for this, even though, once again, his heart was in the right place.
Yeah.
And the real problem was the people doxing and swatting people.
True.
The next one is something I've spoken about before, so I'll give you the
here we
cliff
go,
notes,
baby.
But it's one that Nux
Yeah, this was my biggest mistake for sure in my career. Absolutely.
regards as his biggest mistake, and one that took around 2 years to somewhat conclude.
And even though it was my biggest mistake, and I am not at all sugarcoating it because it was a mistake that I made. We'll get into this. We'll get into this. Never fear. It was not covered properly, in my opinion, by the internet. And one you could still fix. Let's watch him. Let's watch his coverage, and I'll give you my context. Made a huge up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation. Look at this guy taking accountability. What a guy. What a guy. Look at this guy, this blue retard on the internet. Look, listen, if I make an actual mistake, I'll apologize for it. But I'm not gonna sit there and wallow in shame when people try to cancel me for it.
A fellow VTuber by the name of Taigga had a document created about them alleging they were a predator. The document was produced by individuals that were previous mods and stalkers of Taigga, and in 2022, Nux made a video with Moist Critical going over VTuber drama. Moist didn't know about a lot of these VTubers or dramas, and the video was essentially Nux giving a tour through the many controversies of the VTuber community and explaining them. However, he does eventually get to Taigga and says he doesn't know much about the situation.
Actually, Charlie asked me, what about Taigga? Like, Charlie pointed at Taigga and was like, what about him? And alright, anyway, continue.
But then continues to convey the message they were a predator. And with someone like Moist Critical in the video, a lot of people saw it.
Left to teetering money.
Is this HoloLive?
No, Taigga is an indie streamer who, I don't know the whole story, but Taigga was outed to be a
Now, Taigga was exonerated from these claims.
Yeah, I so regret saying that without an allegedly. Yeah, oops.
A few months later,
definitely a
Nux
mistake.
did pin a comment regarding.
Yeah. So by the way, to be clear, right when I was made aware of this, I cut the part out of the video. I made a pinned comment in the video, and I messaged Taigga to apologize privately.
The Taigga situation under the video, and he even removed that part in the video. He also apologized privately to Taigga for this, but many thought the damage was already done. 6 months later, Nux brings up the situation on his podcast, once again saying he messed up, and he was going off the information what other people told him, and that once again he had privately apologized for this.
To be clear, want to make this clear, I apologized for my own volition without being in the middle of a controversy over this Taigga thing on the podcast. That podcast was my biggest platform at the time. Even though it wasn't my channel, it was my biggest platform, and that podcast episode has more views than by like double than the original video I made where I made that slip up and said that Taigga was a pedophile. Just to be clear. Like, I alleged it also because a friend told me, and I regret it because he you know, I don't know if it's true. He ended up coming back with some sort of response. I don't know, this guy Bungo Taigga, and I apologized to him privately that I even alleged something like that, and like because a friend told me.
Now you would think this is where it would end.
That is what I would have thought also, actually, to be honest. I messed up, no doubt. Moving on.
Nux somewhat apologized and learned his lesson that, you know, you should verify information before voicing it, especially when it's a serious allegation, which he did do again around the same time against another YouTuber and VTuber called Rev, where they
I never called Rev a pedophile. That's not accurate.
got into a whole kerfuffle and made a video, which was removed recently, with a weird comment from Nux where if he was to do a video on Rev, with his influence and podcast, YouTube would probably take his channel down.
To be clear, I regret saying that, but also to be clear, at that point Rev was making a lot of like pro-Lolli defense videos, and YouTube was cracking down on that. And that was really what I thought at the time, that if someone would really bring light to that Rev was making super pro-Lolli videos, YouTube might take his channel down. Again, I shouldn't have said it or phrased it the way I did, but that is what I meant.
If I make a video roasting this dude on my main channel, YouTube will literally deplatform him. Like, YouTube actually watches my stuff, especially ever since I've been on the Some Ordinary podcast. YouTube has really been paying attention to, like, what we've been saying. And
yeah, I was rambling on a stream, and it was really stupid that I uploaded it on the other channel, for sure.
And, I'll be honest, if I would make it...
But this isn't calling somebody a pedophile. This was saying that a while ago, Rev was making a lot of very pro-Lolli videos, and YouTube was cracking down on that. To be clear, that's what I was saying. I just phrased it like an idiot.
A video on him on the main channel, I do think you get taken down for either bullying or the whole, weird pedo stuff.
But a few months later, he would claim YouTuber actively
Dude, that's not calling him a pedophile. All right, dude.
suppressing him, which just contradicts his past claim, but he did apologize for this around 2 years later.
See that? Look at that! It comes around! And look, when I say something stupid, I'll tell you I said something stupid. Pretty straightforward about that. Some of the stuff that I said in my old stream that I foolishly uploaded on Nuxanor. And yeah, I was definitely out of pocket when I talked about Rev like 2-3 years ago, whenever the fuck that was.
But with the Taigga situation, it wasn't done yet.
No!
As Taigga thought it wasn't
was
a
not
good
done
apology,
yet.
because Nux claimed privately they would publicly clear the slate regarding Taigga.
That is a lie. That's a lie. One of the things that went along, you phrased it like he was doing pedo stuff. I meant to phrase it like he was making videos, pro-Lolli videos. That is what I thought I said.
Possibly with another video with Moist Critical, but the
I never said I would do that. I never said I would make a video with Moist Critical clearing his name. I don't know how that narrative got out there, but I never said that.
video or cleaning of the public slate never came.
I never said I would do that.
This guy Bungo Taigga, and I apologized to him privately that...
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie, I was planning on it.
If I do a sequel with Charlie... All right, one more time.
Let me be clear. Let me check exactly what he said. If I do a sequel with Charlie...
And this is in DM. This isn't like a public statement. This is me talking to Taigga. If I do a sequel with Charlie...
I was planning on it. I'll try to clear the record more publicly. I'll also do more research. Again, I don't know right now, however, I'll try to rectify any extra damage I caused and hope you can accept my apology. This was in December 22nd, 2022. 2022!
Yeah, I said, if I do another video with Charlie going over VTuber drama, I will rectify the record. I never made another video with Charlie going over VTuber drama. And yeah, no. I don't even think I did another, like, specific collab with Charlie, just me and Charlie on my channel. So no, that never happened. And yeah, definitely, after I get into this whole controversy over this, Charlie's totally gonna want to do another one of these VTuber drama videos with me. Absolutely, after I got into a whole controversy with this. So, no bro, not true. This propagated everywhere. I promised I was gonna do a thing, didn't do a thing, did do a thing.
He said he was gonna make a sequel video with Moist Critical.
No, I didn't. That's not true.
Video never came.
Now moving to 2020.
So anyway, just wanted to, yeah, anywho. I absolutely fucked up with what I said, for sure. But yeah.
24, Nux was still getting backlash for this mistake.
True.
People wanted him to
I still get backlash for that mistake.
take full accountability for this, with not just a pinned comment, not just a small segment on his podcast.
Small segment on the podcast got way more views than the small segment in the original video. Just want to make that clear.
And not just a
Again, I fucked up. But let's be honest.
private DM. And in 2024, he did apologize, saying it was the biggest fuck up of his career.
It was, I misspoke. I don't usually misspeak. So yes.
In a video where he goes over the unjust banning of VTubers on YouTube and mentions Taigga, who was also banned on the platform.
Yeah, Taigga's ban had nothing to do with me, by the way. It had nothing to do with me. People are like trying to say that because I said something 2 years earlier, and then 2 years later, Taigga got banned on YouTube, they blamed me for it. That's so not my fault whatsoever, has nothing to do with me.
He does apologize for the situation, but
And Taigga blamed me for it. Now, Taigga has every right to hate me, so that's understandable. But, nah, dude, Nah, dude, that had nothing to do with me.
Adds he wasn't to blame for Taigga's deplatforming.
True. And I made a huge fuck up. Without hyperbole, this was the biggest mistake of my career, and I am deeply, deeply sorry for spreading misinformation and for causing any undue hate to be sent Taigga's way. I am sorry for how I handled that. I'm sorry for how I said it. I have tried to do better since then, and I will continue to try to do better in the future.
No, he apologized.
Yeah, the original video, I definitely fucked up. I saw he was, Taigga was like commissioning lots of like, was it lolly porn, shota porn, whatever it was? Like, and also there was that whole doc on him, and I spoke without doing the proper research, and I fucked up for sure. And I apologized like 3 times for it, and I'm not apologizing for it again. I did my part.
Again, it should all go away now, right? Not really. Many viewed his apology as disingenuous.
Sure.
Due to the fact he made comments around the same time, previously contradicting the private apology, comments on the podcast, and pinned comment. So a lot of people thought all of his apologies he'd made were just disingenuous anyway.
Bro! Right. I thought you cared about, stood up for small creators. I do. Especially when the small creators don't have sussy interactions in regards to minors.
And still to this day.
I don't see how that is at all a controversy, bro. That is not contradicting anything. Wait, let me get this straight. People think that because I fucked up in regards to Taigga and I apologize for my fuck up, that means I also need to suck him off whenever I can? Huh? No, I don't. With all due respect, I do not need to do that. What are you talking about?
This situation is levied against him. Now, Nux, contrary to popular belief, wasn't to blame directly for Taigga.
Directly? I wasn't to blame at all. You know what? I'll tell you what I did for this. I actually messaged my YouTube contact specifically and showed them Taigga's deleted channel, trying to get them to reinstate his channel. They said they couldn't for nudity and sexual content. That has nothing to do with me at all.
Is deplatforming.
Oh, give me a break,
he was to blame for the spread of allegations at the time. And
yeah, 2 years earlier, and I apologize for that because I screwed up.
How he dealt with the situation, often apologizing, then going back on his word.
I didn't go back on my word. That part's not true.
And apologizing again.
Yeah, I apologized on the podcast, and then I thought that was enough. People didn't think that was enough, which is understandable. They wanted on my own channel. I get that. That makes sense. So I made an apology on my own channel as well, and that's it. That's it. And I meant it because I did screw up. It was my biggest screw up for sure. Absolutely.
He all around did not deal with this situation very well, and it did have an effect on his reputation.
No, that it definitely did. Deal with the situation. It was a very ugly situation. There was a lot of misinformation flying around, and I also screwed up for sure.
The next controversy.
Okay, so he's getting into the next controversy. So he didn't include the one thing that I would have, I guess, liked him to include here. Here, let me just make sure I don't leak any shit. Let me try not to leak stuff here. All right, where's the thing? I can't find the thing. Fuck. I found the thing. All right.
I don't know. That's how I feel, I guess. I technically forgive you. I'm still deeply upset, and the damage may never be undone. I hope Charlie can be informed at some point, even privately, and I hope whoever your informant was, Nux, whoever's telling you that I groomed my viewers into donating thousands, or that I'm a pedophile behind the scenes, I hope they aren't still your friend. But that's, of course, your prerogative, and I can't force you to reveal who's slandering me behind the scenes, although I have my guesses. I have a hunch. I think that's the end of it. I think that's it. That's all I've got to say.
All right, so he did forgive me, which is something that I think is important to mention on a video calling for my for the most hated VTuber. Just want to make this clear. All right, again, let's keep. He acts like you're Satan. Look, I said something that I regret in a video for sure. I messed up. Again, maybe I'm biased, but I don't think that I am the #1 guy that pushed the whole fucking allegations and shit and whatever. But I did screw up, so I'll take accountability for my screw up for sure.
Only a month later would also do, and would receive 10 times more.
Oh yeah, dude, this was crazy.
Attention than any of his past controversies.
Yeah, and also, by the way, I've been very careful since then. I've learned from my mistake. I've tried to be better. I have tried to be better since then, absolutely. And as far as I am aware, I've never slandered anybody else. Which is, I mean, look, I'm getting my just desserts, for real. Hassan slanders me on his stream every single day right now. All right, Jaden controversy. This is my favorite controversy.
He's with the most lukewarm scenario. And that...
Bro, wait, you've got to be kidding me. Hold up. Pyro got 1 million views covering the Jaden situation? That's crazy.
Of his past controversies with the most lukewarm scenario. And that is the Jaden Animations situation. Now, most people know who Jaden Animations is. She makes animated videos, mainly storytime videos, and even herself later became a VTuber.
Oh my god.
This whole controversy boils down to Nux that just changed his type of content to mainly just reaction-based content, which many popular content creators do, like Asmongold and Pyrocynical, the mounting ugly. And overall, what...
The
But people had a problem with Nux due to the fact he started reacting to Jaden, and he...
People had a problem with Nux because he started reacting to Jaden. Alright, yeah. Jaden Animations reaction. Alright? Well, let's do it, guys. Let's do it. Everyone reacts to Jaden! Everyone! Alright, here's Cupcake reacting to Jaden, and Dr. Mike reacting to Jaden, and Cinepals reacting to Jaden, and Slimesicle reacting to Jaden. Everyone reacts to Jaden. Alright, let's make this clear for a second. Everyone reacts to Jaden. I'm glad we're on the same page. Keep going.
He would take the title or situation and involve himself in it. With a title like Me and Jaden had a good 10 years on YouTube. Or Jaden Animations.
Now, to be clear, I want to make this clear again. Alright, me inserting myself into Jaden Animations titles is because Jaden was making YouTube videos for 10 years. I was making YouTube videos for 10 years. This was a video where I react to her 10 years and my thoughts on doing YouTube for 10 years. Jaden and I had a great 10 years on YouTube. Completely accurate.
Animations talks to me about dating. Or me and Jaden...
I didn't say talks to me about dating.
Jaden forgot...
I said taught me about dating, not the same thing.
To file...
I thought it was very funny titles.
Our tax...
And the more people would get upset about it, the more I would do it, bro. It was so smart.
And the IRS founders. Stuff like that.
True.
We. Who's we?
The memes were insane. You have no idea how much hate I got for this.
There is no we.
That was awesome.
It made it look like they were doing a collab of sorts, even though I don't think there's any recorded event of them interacting. But people were not happy with this, and a whole bunch of hate was sent to Nux, especially with the perceived reputation he already had. Someone made a fake response from Jaden, which many believed, essentially telling him to fuck off.
Yeah, not a real message. This got tens of millions of views, by the way.
Someone made a Google Chrome extension, which...
I love this Google Chrome extension. The Nuxify Chrome extension adds me to thumbnails and changes the titles to Our Birds. Right, Pokemon sent us to Japan. This is the greatest fucking extension of all time.
Adds him to every YouTube video.
Yeah.
And someone ratioed Mr. Beast with a meme and...
True! That just happened.
He took credit for it.
Of course I take credit for it. Of course I'm gonna take credit for it. Oh, I did, yes, absolutely.
People made...
Of course! Jaden and I ratioed Mr. Beast.
Video and...
So, to be clear, Invincible Season 3 peters out with a bad finale, whatever. And Mr. Beast is like, IGN just gives the opposite of the crazy thing. Mr. Beast inserted himself into the Invincible situation.
Someone ratioed Mr. Beast with a meme and he...
So this guy posted this saying, goodbye Jaden and I had 10 years because I inserted myself into the Jaden Animation situation just like Mr. Beast inserted himself. And this ended up getting like 100,000 likes.
Took credit for it. People made a Teen Titans Go reference with it, which was "and Bumblebee," which he assumed meant it was just kids making fun of him.
No, the "and Bumblebee" thing was because Bumblebee inserted herself into situations. I'm getting canceled by Teen Titans Go children. True. True! I'm being canceled by toddlers. It's amazing!
Even though Teen Titans Go, yes, it is a bad sequel to Teen Titans, but it is pretty old now, and I think it aired quite a while ago when I was a toddler.
It's still airing! It is still airing, brother, I'm pretty sure. Is Teen Titans Go still airing? Yes! It is still airing. It's on season 8. So let's not make believe it's people that watched this when they were kids. No, it's retards still watching it today.
But people that didn't know who Nux was before this just thought he was the Jaden Animations guy now.
Yeah, the Jaden Animations stalker for titling videos that way. So to be clear, I titled lots of videos like that because I thought it was funny. Oompaville and I ended up in Mr. Beast drama. Oompaville and I destroy Sniper Wolf. There was also a Ludwig and I, right? I did that one too. All right, Ludwig and I summarized the Johnny Depp trial, right? Like, it was a popular titling scheme, okay? It was not like a it doesn't matter. Why am I even defending this? Who cares? This is hilarious.
Which I don't know if it's good PR or bad PR. But to be honest, he was just doing what every other React channel does.
True.
Albeit changing the title slightly.
True.
I don't know why he chose Jaden. He wasn't framing
I didn't choose Jaden. I did this with other people too.
any other titles like this.
I did. I just showed you. Oh my god. I literally did.
And he had already been doing it as far back as 2 years ago.
Cause it's, dude, I've been doing this with, oh my god, dude, this is crazy. This narrative's insane.
But it was just reaction videos, which
But I did this with all other people as well. It's just a good title. Y'all hate the game.
many people watch. So they don't feel alone watching YouTube in their dark, dingy basement.
True.
Anyway, now the last controversy, yes, we're almost there.
Oh, hell
I
yeah.
know I've taken
I feel like there are way more controversies that he didn't mention, but I approve of his, like, bullet points.
up a majority of your time, but let's be
Next
honest.
one has to be the Lolli one.
Because
Because that's the biggest, like, misrepresentation of anything ever.
that time playing War Thunder or Dead by Daylight wouldn't have been time well spent, now would it? So shut up. But the last one, and probably the most impactful, was basically surrounding Lolli. Now the topic of Lolli has been debated for years now, especially within the anime community. On one side you have people that argue Lolli characters in anime or VTubing is only an aesthetic thing focused on characters that are small or have a specific body type.
Yeah, Lolli means petite woman, basically, but that could... So the thing is, young-looking woman could include an adult-looking woman that looks young, but it could also include something that looks like a baby, all right, with like a big head and like actual child baby characteristics. So the problem with the term Lolli in general is that there is an incredibly wide range of what this could be used to describe. Like it could be described like Rebecca, right, who is technically a lolly for sure, but looks like a petite woman. And there's also lollies that actually look like children.
The example used by this side is Rebecca from Cyberpunk, which was a whole different controversy back then, but she did get absolutely balled on in the anime. And on the other side, people say they are depictions of children, and if you sexualize them, you are a predator.
So the problem is there's a mix. That is the problem. The problem with lollies as a term is that it's describing many things. And children are childlike women, and also adult women that are petite are also lollies. So it's definitely a swinging scale for sure.
With the examples, some anime characters seen in that light are underage. But how
Which again, My Hero Academia characters are underaged, but they look like adults. Like it's definitely a weird blend.
How does this relate to Nux?
Alright,
well,
let's go.
Nux was heavily against Lolli publicly, saying along the lines, if you like Lolli or sexualize it, you are a predator.
Yeah, so originally I made this tweet as a joke. Obviously, it didn't work that well. Obviously, it did not work out. When I was referring to lollies, I was referring to the lollies that look like children, like actual children. And while I'm not saying it makes you a pedophile, I am saying that it's weird. It is really weird if you're fucking attracted to characters that are drawn to look like babies.
However, many took a look back at Nux's history with some of the content and thumbnails, some of which have been deleted and changed over the years. Many cited he had straight up involved Lolli sexually in his thumbnails or suggested such themes in his content.
So that was not Lolli, the whatever's being shown with the blurred screen right now. That's the I forget what it's called. The dog girl anime. Now, to be clear, I've corrected the record on this in the past. Over my years on YouTube, my stances have slightly changed, for sure. As I've recognized how dangerous the online world is for children, the more and more I actually see different individuals on the internet showing up and doing weird shit. I definitely worded things poorly, and I definitely made thumbnails and shit that I definitely regret. Absolutely. But yeah, anyway, that's about it. Yeah.
Even at one
I've made videos on this in the past. I don't feel the need to address anything right now.
point, he had a series where he would straight up show anime porn to other influencers.
Yeah, but that wasn't Lolli. That was predominantly like just really cringy, weird shit that came out of Japan.
To get their reaction.
He has the same facial expression as Tom, bro. Whoever made this needs to be in jail.
What?
Yeah, so that was not Lolli, by the way. That was also not porn. He's wrong. Wait, hold up. So this Turkey Tom thing that he's showing right here?
Content. Even at one point, he had a series where he would straight up show anime porn to other influencers to get their reaction.
He has the same facial expression as Tom, bro. Whoever made this needs to be in jail.
So that was not porn. Just to be clear, that was called Inukai-san. It was an anime that aired, broadcasted publicly in Japan. My videos were showing people weird shit that came out of Japan to get funny reactions. And I, to this day, do not think that they were harmful videos. I don't. I do not think so. Again, my stances on things have changed. It's not the kind of content I want to do anymore. It is not something that I am interested in doing right now at all. I've realized that the situation on the internet is definitely harmful to children, for sure, when it comes to a lot of people. But I want to make something very clear here because, again, I've said this before and I will say it again. There was an industry standard, all right? Listen, I don't want to be a broken record here and break this up every time. This is PewDiePie, the biggest fucking YouTuber in the world, or at least he was at the time. This is a video of him reacting to Boku no Pico. Boku no Pico, these are Shotas, the male version of Lolli's. They look like children. They're like 10 years old in the actual show, all right? This is porn. It's essentially an adult that comes and rapes these two kids. All right, that's basically what this fucking bullshit is. So when people come to me and be like, Nux, you made people react to weird shit in Japan, when this was the industry standard, it is disgusting. This is gross. Everyone, by the way, reacted to this. I am not the only one that did. PewDiePie, first of all, I never did. PewDiePie is not the only one that did. Other people did. I never reacted to this because I thought it was too fucked up. I want to make this clear. I am the moral one here. I am moral. Y'all are the weird ones. This has 14 million views on the biggest channel on the platform. And if you just look at general reactions, everyone reacted to this. These are the 4 biggest anime YouTubers at the time. They all did this collab reaction. Just want to make this clear, all right? For a second, this was an industry standard. Whatever you think about it.
What were we doing back then in those days of content? Jesus.
True.
Even showed hentai that was considered Lolli to his fellow co-host.
It wasn't Lolli, by the way. This one that everyone's harping on me for showing Muda Heart, not Lolli. Just want to make that clear. All right? That was not Lolli at all. These were adult women. Or adult-looking women, whatever it is.
Mudaha.
This is a hentai? First rule, hug your little sister every day.
Okay, it's fine. Okay, it's just hug her for at least 10 seconds. There's nothing wrong with the hug. Yeah, it's fine.
No, the third rule isn't any weirder, so you don't have to worry.
And by the way, these clips that I showed them, these were on YouTube. I was showing this to show you about how YouTube allows this content. That was the point.
Oh.
But he was mainly being called
True.
out for being a hypocrite due to the thumbnails and the videos. But what made things significantly worse at the time was the Ava Chris Tyson allegations.
Alright, just to be clear, nothing to do with me.
Ava was a supporter of Shadman, an infamous character online that drew NSFWR, and more notably drew NSFWR of Keemstar's daughter at the time, who was underage, which everyone viewed as fucking disgusting.
It was fucking disgusting. Yeah, absolutely fucking disgusting.
But after the whole Ava Chris Tyson story, a post was made showing all the creators that associate with or endorse Shadman.
Just want to make this clear. If you look at this list, this is only a tiny part of the list. There is a massive list, okay, of anyone that ever interacted with Shadman. I got messaged by him once and like replied to one of his tweets. I never had a relationship with him. I never knew him. We've never been friends or anything. I don't know why I became the target of this. Probably because I'm so famous and well beloved by my audience. People are trying to take me down for reasons that they can't find.
And Nux was listed, where he previously included Shadman's art in
Notice how this screenshot is 15 minutes old because I changed the fucking art.
his thumbnails, which he did change a few days after the video was released a few years ago.
Remember the video that I talked about that had a Shadman art in the thumbnail and I changed it? And people kept saying that, no, I don't believe you that you changed the thumbnail back 3 years ago. You probably just changed it right now. Game of Thrones memes are are fucked up. Last updated thumbnail 11/24/2020. This thumb.
He asked him for a collaboration where Nux's excuse was he was going to make fun of him.
People are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman. To be clear, at that time I didn't even know he did the Keemstar's daughter shit. Just want to make that clear. When I asked him to collab on Twitter, right, I had no idea he was doing the Keemstar's daughter thing. All I knew was basically every YouTuber on the planet was kind of friends with this guy. So yeah, I basically said, hey, wanna collab? And of course I was gonna troll him. I had Deji on, and I trolled the crap out of him.
For a collaboration where Nux's excuse was he was going to make fun of him.
Yeah, people are making this as some sort of, I am supporting him and I'm trying my best to become friends with Shadman, this monster. Which is fucking stupid if you know my content at all. True. I troll confront people when I collab the same way you do, talking to Keemstar, on LolCow, and if you watch my videos, you know that. I don't mind if you hate me, but at least hate me for the right reasons.
And at one point, he even had direct contact with Shadman, where multiple videos resurfaced of him talking about the DMs.
I'm trying to make contact with Shadman. You do realize that people could just message you on Twitter. That was my contact. He messaged me on Twitter, weird shit, and I made fun of him for it. How is this proof of friendship in any way? I know that's not what royalty is here is saying, but people take it that far. Yes, I did. There's 3 Nuxes on screen right now. That's horrifying. Get DM'd by Shadman every once in a while. Back in the day, rarely. I would just wake up out of the blue and boom, I'd have a Shadman DM, and I would literally make fun of him for those DMs later. True! That's a weird, yeah, and
that's a way to start a sentence.
That's a way to start a sentence. And he has some interesting takes on Gardevoir.
He can keep them. I don't think I need to hear them.
Yeah, they're weird. Dude, honestly, it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had in my life. Like through DMs. I didn't speak to him like voice, but it was the weirdest conversation I've ever had.
And even one video where he says he doesn't want to get him in trouble.
Shadman once, it was the weirdest interaction of my life. Like that dude. Let me actually open up the DMs. Let me see if I can find anything funny he said. Oh my god, I can't even read you most of this. I can't even, oh my god, I literally can't read any of this to you. I really want to show them to you, but I don't want to like show you anything that I can't reveal. Like, I don't want to actually get him in trouble. It's just like, yeah.
But Nux clarifies he never knew about
I have no idea what that's supposed to prove at all.
Keemstar Shadman
freak messaged me on Twitter and
thing. Now, it's been unclear if Nux was ever going to actually roast Shadman if he did a video with him, or if he truly
Well, that never happened, so no one could know.
Didn't know about what Shadman was doing.
I had no idea. No idea about the Keemstar's daughter thing.
But the fact he had direct contact with someone like Shadman, many still viewed as incriminating.
It's incriminating! He was messaged by a freak on Twitter. Woo! Get him, boys!
Even though in his own words, he was just making fun of him.
I was!
In his response,
you could literally watch any of my videos when I talked about that. He messaged me.
He also said he regrets a lot of his previous content and the involvement of Lolli in them. And he has always been against Lolli.
It wasn't a review of LolliCon. That's obviously bad faith. Yeah, I never did that. Probably one of the most bad faith ways to twist what actually happened I've ever heard. Now, I have said in the past, and I'll say it again, I do regret making a lot of those old videos. I have literally always been against the Lolli. I made old videos where I found, like, crazy hentai, and I showed them to people for shock value. These hentai videos are on YouTube also. And I reacted to a YouTube video, being like, this is crazy that this came out of Japan and is literally on YouTube. So, anyway, it was a little wild. I invited a lot of people to the call. Obviously, no one thought it was weird. People had eyeballs. I mean, everyone thought that the content was weird.
A lot of this controversy just boils down to Nux saying he hated something, but he was involving it in his content and was actively...
But first of all, me saying that I'm against... Dude, there are so many terms here that are being thrown around, man. I don't even know where to, like, begin.
Showing it to people, and he also shouldn't have had ties with someone making terrible NSFW art, even if he was going to make fun of him. No.
I'm against the idea, and I think it's really weird if people are sexually attracted to lollies that look like babies. I think that's freaking weird. I still to this day do. I do. That's it.
Now, this is where the controversy stood for some time, but then the post-Nux clarity...
Making fun of shit that comes out of Japan is not a contradiction at all of me thinking it's weird if you're sexually attracted to lolly babies. It's weird. Again, I should have never insinuated that that is being a pedophile actual. But I think it's fucking weird.
It for Mudahar a few months later, which, to give him credit, is a good title.
Great title! Post Nux Clarity is the greatest title of a video canceling me of all time.
But Mudahar made a video basically saying he was distancing himself from Nux due to some feedback he got from Reddit.
And Hassan, by the way. This is, thank you, Hassan Piker, absolute piece of shit. Destroying friendships and, you know, committing terrorist activities, potentially. That's our boy, that's our guy. He's the guy that came out there and targeted Mudahar and was like, you watch our Lolli hentai with Nux, kind of shit.
But to go back to it, Nux Taku is a former collaborator, a former friend of mine, and I mean really a former friend of mine, because some of the stuff that I've seen over here is disgusting enough that I really can't continue a friendship, and I really can't, like, again, excuse some of my behavior watching some of this content.
He said they had no more business relations and they were no longer friends due to things like the Taigga situation, the Shadman situation.
Well, to be honest, when Muda made this video, he basically pulled up every old controversy of mine to try to really get me for it. Because I don't think even he thought that I was a bad guy when he made this video, and I think he needed to convince himself that I was a bad guy. Because of the pushback he's been getting from, like, Hassan people. Let me see if I can find the fucking Hassan clip that started. Yeah, this is the clip that I think really pushed the little pebble down the mountain. All right?
Apparently, some of them even, maybe not neo-Nazis, but some YouTubers even sit around and do reviews of child porn. Drawn child porn. Hentai. Lolicon. That's how little YouTube gives a shit about their own terms of service. You know, Mudahar should know that. Seemingly, he participated in a review of Lolicon himself.
Right, so this is essentially him calling Mudahar a pedophile for collabing with me. That's essentially what Hassan did here. The largest leftist political streamer of all time. By the way, in case you're curious, this is the Lolli that everyone's freaking out about. This is the Lolli porn that everyone's talking about. Y'all are crazy if you think that this is a Lolli. All right, listen, if you think, like, come on, bro. Come on, bro. Miss me with that. But anyway, so yeah, so this is obviously insane. Now, he's talking about terms of service while he supports terrorists. Yeah, so y'all crazy, y'all insane, y'all wild on this one, for real, for real. I am innocent of all charges. I find myself innocent of everything. I think he pushed this down the hill, and at that point, Muda kind of he felt pressured by shit like that and comments on Reddit and stuff to make this video. And again, I have no enemies. I have no enemies. I spoke to him after he uploaded the video. He took it down. He apologized. We're good now. We are good.
And the Lolli involvement, which he had some part in and showed remorse for it.
But in this situation, I just wanted to provide you the context of all of this, right? This wasn't us sitting together watching Lolli, you know, just on, like, the off time. This is a collaboration for one of Nux's main channel videos. And at the time, really nobody thought about it.
Well, that's it. I'm innocent of all charges. I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Innocent of everything. Badger Toes, thanks for the sub. Literally innocent on everything. Bro, you're going to sit here and you're going to say that, oh my God, I can't believe I blindsided people with... No one got blindsided with anything, all right? But I'll be honest here. Hassan, largest leftist political streamer on the planet, one of the biggest content creators out there. If he calls you a pedophile, that means he's, you know, agitating hundreds of thousands of people to call you a pedophile. And if hundreds of thousands of people call you a pedophile, it feels fucking terrible. I would know. Hassan calls me a pedophile all the time. He's a liar. We know that. But that's what happens, bro. Welcome to the internet. It happens. And unfortunately, a lot of people don't have a thick enough skin to stand up for what they actually believe in when they're being called a pedophile by a million people on the internet. So again, no hard feelings towards Mudahar, by the way, just to be clear.
But we should have. It really did blindside me. There was a bias.
No, he wasn't blindsided. But again, no hard feelings to Mudahar. Really, for real. That's why I never made a specific reaction to the thing. Again, he spoke to me privately. We're good. We're totally good.
Yes.
Hassan is the piece of shit here, for sure. And the people that peddle, like, the slanderous narratives online. Like, they suck, too. But, absolutely.
Call it, friendship bias, call it, there was other creators working on it, but really it was something that I was putting up a blind spot to, and I'm not using that as an excuse. I really shouldn't have done that collaboration, and I really shouldn't have watched that content, and if any way contributed to normalizing it.
And he went on to say he didn't know about Nux's content, and he was naive to some of the things he took part in.
Wait, you should have more in those videos?
But in this video, he was basically taking accountability for his involvement, but then deleted the video, citing he was overreacting.
Because he was overreacting. He was, I think, manipulated, and obviously, a lot of people out there calling you a pedophile for no reason. It's stressful as fuck, for sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, he took down the last video because it was a bad video. Because it turns out I was kind of innocent on all charges here, it seems.
And he apologized to Nux, and they are still friends.
The craziest thing is watching. All right, whatever. I'll leave my thoughts at the end of the video. Buddha deleted his video, posted a community post, and then called me, and apologized.
Many thought this was disingenuous of Mutahar taking accountability, then walking it back, and he did receive a lot of flack for this. Many citing that wearing the squchan medallion was giving off some gamma radiation and probably skewed his judgment due to this. And many said he was just throwing Nux under the bus, who was supposedly his friend, so he didn't have to deal with the Reddit hate. Mutahar probably should have thought a lot more about this before making the video, but the two of them made up anyway, apparently. But the fallout of this video was a lot of the previous stuff being brought up again against Nux, and other people like Chud Logic were affected when they were told contradicting things by Mutahar and reported on it.
My boots have been pissed on, and I've been told that it's raining. Right? It is 100% without question that Mutahar did say to me, okay, he did say to me that it was ending because of Nux Taku and the Shadman connection, and then later changed.
Yeah, and Mutahar was wrong. He was wrong. I think he was feeling a lot of pressure, and he said wrong things on other people's streams also. It was... Okay, again, I'm not trying to trauma dump here, because I don't actually care at this point. We're good, and everything's fine. But Mutahar was feeling a lot of pressure by other people canceling. Like, I'm telling you, this is the shit that they do. People know that the stuff that they say about me, it's not going to get to me. They do know that at this point. So what they do instead is they go after my friends. And Mutahar was getting a lot of hate and a lot of heat, and I think he caved. And it was definitely shitty.
That.
But overall, a lot of content creators before the post-Nux Clarity video and after did start to distance themselves from Nux.
I love me some chaos now and again. I do! But it was a pretty rough moment there.
So in conclusion, does Nux deserve the reputation of the most hated
let's
VTuber?
go.
Looking at all the controversies, he tried to do the right thing with the V Shoujo situation, and the Jaden Animations thing was just kind of a joke.
True.
But due to his own actions, like contradicting himself at times or going back on what he says and taking no accountability, except for sometimes he...
When did I go back on what I say and take no accountability? I don't even know.
Years later, it has led to a lot of people hating him. So yes, he does somewhat deserve that title, mostly due to his past controversies and the...
His conclusion is I deserve the title. No!
...public perception of him. But in the present, I predict we probably won't see any more dramas from Nux.
I've been in so much drama for the last month.
I'm probably wrong.
Yeah, you're probably wrong.
Nowadays, dude is just reacting to politics and Adventure Time.
Based.
And yes, he does get a lot of hate for his political takes, but I'm in no way political or have any knowledge on politics.
Fair enough.
But yeah, that's all I wanted to say, and bye-bye.
Yeah, in conclusion, it was a pretty good video. It was a pretty good video. I'm not gonna lie. It was a pretty good video. I have no complaints. I think he did a good job. He's being extra for the drama. I approve. In conclusion, I regret the Taigga thing, which I apologized for, and Taigga forgave me for, but I absolutely fucked up about that for sure. And I am innocent on all other charges. Thank you so much for being here. People hated Jesus because he told the truth. Classic Jew moment, am I right, guys? Classic. Yeah, so anyway, yeah, I regret some of my old thumbnails, but I wouldn't say that's like some huge mistake. I think that was like the overall YouTube system being fucked, for sure. Like PewDiePie reacting to Boku no Pico is worse than anything I have ever done by this metric. So anyway, in conclusion, innocent on all charges. I've definitely grown and matured a lot over my 10 years on YouTube. And I'm going to keep doing what I do because Nux stamp of approval on my own career. I approve of my career. God, I'm based. God, I love when people make videos about me and I see how based I am in reality. Fuck yeah, dude. So anyway, I reacted to the hit piece just like you wanted. Dude, there's so much more context on like certain instances, but yeah. Listen, royalty is here. You already made 3 videos on me. For your 4th video on me, for the love of God, reach out first, please. I'll give you more shit. I'll give you the inside shit. Come on, man. For the 4th video, man. All right, anyway, this was a fun video, all in all. I think he did a pretty good job. I can't blame him for not having all the context because obviously only I, who see it through my eyes, get all the context. And also, I saw the comment sections on like Tectone's video and smugalana's video, and the comments are fucking awesome. Turns out I'm awesome and based. The solution is I'm awesome and based. And people hated me for I spoke the truth. Thank you for being here. I am, in fact, the humblest, most accountable person that actually does not give a fuck if you cancel me if I don't agree with the reasons why you're canceling me. Thank you for being here, and stay weird, fam. Like, subscribe, and this video was streamed live on kick.com/Nuxanor. See you there. Stay weird, fam.